Hi everyone, welcome back to Cricket Bat Info. My name's Mark. If it's the first time enjoying the channel, you're going to see something really unusual today. Blast from the past, an illegal cricket bat. This cannot be used in any form of cricket now. So what we actually have today is a UK edition. This is what we believe to be about a 2008 Puma Tribute 6000. These are the English Pumas. You can see here that's not as big as that Ballistics we did the other day. These were the ones that were handcrafted by Rob Pack himself. And these are actually really unusual. And I'll show you the reason immediately why they're unusual. This bat has no splice. Where is it? It doesn't have one. It's not a mongoose. There's no splice up in the handle up here. What you've actually got here, this is actually a composite carbon handle. So it's actually got a carbon rod that comes all the way down the handle and fits into a plug that's inside here. It goes no further than the length of the shoulders, and then it's covered with a foam grip to provide the feel of a natural handle and also the performance. Now the reason they did this was to save weight. So basically, you know, of all the clefts that a bat maker would get in, you'd probably find 30%, or I'm actually quoting from a Rob Pack video. I'll leave the link in the video, but he basically explained that in thirds you'd get clefts that will make bats in that under 2.8 range, which everybody wants, then 2.9 to 2.11, and then 2.11 upwards. So to make more of the bats under 2.9, they have to make savings. So what they came up with, and they actually worked with Newbery on this, is this handle design. And I actually got in contact with him and he sent me some photos, which I'm going to show you. So what I have here, this isn't actually a picture of the handle unit complete. And I'll read to you the notes that Rob Pack gave me. We started with this picture here, and he said, there you go, some shafts were used for fishing rods and golf club shafts. Foam material was the same used on badminton shuttlecocks. The shafts themselves were carbon rods and they were hollow, but then they were plugged. I'm highlighting, that's actually what went into the top of the bat. So that was the equivalent of the splice, a round hole, and that actual carbon rod fitted into the top of that. The wooden plugs were made from oak. His test plug there, and you can see they put a metal ring around the top of it just to stop it from splitting, and that's the assembled version there. The actual rod didn't actually go that far into the plug. So when you actually look at the other photos, that's the only amount of rod that actually extended into the top of the plug. And that was no deeper than the height of the shoulders. So the MCC allowed that at the time. What I did find though, which I asked him, I said, hey, is that the same plug that was used by Newbery, the C6 Plus? Because I remember this. And he said, yeah, they developed it together. They actually shared the costs. We've done it together as two companies in collaboration, helped the costings on development. You can see here that says 2006. Now I'm saying the review is 2008. If you know that the actual bat is a 2006 or 2007, just let me know in the comments of the video, because I can't find this information on the internet. So I'm sort of guessing that it's a 2008 just by what I've been given. The other thing that I did find, I reached out to my friend Mark, and he has all the Australian catalogues, and that was the Australian Tribute at the time. And you'll notice that the Australian ones look totally different to the English ones. And they didn't actually have any of the handle technology. They just had a regular splice. You can just sort of see that up the top, of darkness at the top there in the pixelation. That's Sam Miller there. He was the one with Julian Millichamp who made the bats in Australia. I didn't show you this when I did the Puma Ballistic because it would have shown that I was going to be doing a Puma tribute. Now, one other thing I did find is an actual description for the UK Tribute 6000, and that's where I've got the date from. So they said the recommended retail price at the time was £300. So that's all the links. I'm going to put them all in the description if you want to go and have a look at them after. So we have no splice here. That's really interesting. It's actually a really nice grade of willow. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 grains. This again comes from Bill, Bills_cricket_bats. Now I did notice Bill had one of these up on eBay for sale. I think he's actually got a few of these, and I think he's trying to clear a few. So if you're interested, follow that link. I'll leave it in the description. That's the profile there. If I hold it up, you can see here we've got a lot of wood from that mid-low through to mid-high, and it's all very consistent in the shape. There's no difference in the edge, and it is very small by today's standards. It's not a particularly huge profile. It does have the original Puma toe guard on it, and obviously this is brand new because it's got the tag on it. The grip itself seems to have perished a little bit. There is a bit of play there, and for that reason I don't actually want to try and roll it down or anything like that. These are particularly thick grips, and I wouldn't be surprised if the grip itself weighs close to 2 ounces with all the extra thickness there. The actual handle shape, if I can explain that one to you, is a beautiful oval again. Seemed to be very typical of Pumas in that time, and more semi-oval at the top rather than round. So a little bit different to the Gilchrist one we had. Remember, Puma, these ones were actually designed and made in the UK. And UK, obviously being a colder, wetter climate, it's harder to get the clefts down to a lighter weight. I don't think they were using a secondary drying those days. So yeah, let's have a look at the specs. Before I do, look how well those edges have actually been boned. So they are really well boned, almost ready to use, and that affects the dimensions that I'll be measuring. 13.8. I'll make a guess here what they would have been before boning. 22.3 and 14.5. Toe thickness in the center, 23.5. Width of the bat, 108. And before I do the spine, I might as well put it through the gauge, because I didn't. And you'll see we're sacrificing a lot of wood here by today's standards. It's a good centimetre there on the spine, and the face camber itself, that's rocking and rolling. So I reckon we got an 8 or a 9 mil round face, very traditional. So one thing I'll also show you, which is unlike the Australian one, there is bow in this bat. You can see it there. There's a very nice bow running down there. It's got the original tag on it, so that's sort of getting in the way. That just says the preparation instructions and things like that. Let's measure that spine, and starting about here in a mid position, 59.4. Let's measure it up here, 58.9, and we'll measure it here, and it's 57. So yeah, very generous sort of and consistent through that middle, no real sort of peak. So we do expect when we tap this up that it's going to be fairly nice. Now let's see what it actually picks up. Remember, they were trying to make 2.8 bats lighter, but obviously a lot of weight has been taken out of that handle. How does it actually affect pickup? So taking my normal batting stance, yeah, it feels alright. To me, it actually feels like a 2.9 bat. Doesn't feel like a 2.8. I could even say it could be 2.9 to 2.10. Even though they've taken that weight out, I think it feels to me what it would have without the carbon handle. And that says, if I lift that up, 2.84. It definitely feels an ounce heavier than that. So it's still grade 1 willow, and it's still going to hit the ball like a 2.85 bat. But compared to the bat that came after it, that actually caused all these composite handles to be banned, which was the Gray-Nicolls Fusion, which I have actually done a review on the Gadonk, as I called it, and I'll put a link to that in the description there. let's actually see what this taps up like, because this is different handle technology. Starting at the toe, remembering this is new, so I'm not going to tap it too hard. Now I'm going to tell you straight away, there is no vibration in the handle. It feels really, really nice. Yeah, definitely a mid-middle. You can see that's where it's going. And it's going high as well. And I think the reason it's playing so high is because you don't have the splice. It's very much like what happened with the Mongoose when they raised the splice up into the handle area, or dropped the shoulders. So yeah, it's going all the way up there. So yeah, thanks Gray Nichols. You ruined it for everybody. We could have all been using bats like this if you didn't bring out the damn carbo handle with the carbon splice that went all the way through, because that was the reason the MCC banned it. Yeah, there you go. That is a really, really fantastic bat, and yeah, it's nice. I think it would actually hit a lot harder than the dimensions actually show. But I do wonder about the durability, you know, how they actually went with those plugs in real life. And if you actually used any in the UK, give us a shout out and say how it actually went. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, because we're looking at bats here that are, you know, 14, 15 years old. And a lot of that history just gets lost, you know, no internet, then it's really hard to find this information. So it's really your commentary about these bats that's going to help other viewers to understand exactly what this was like, because they were so rare. This has been a great experience to show you something really unique, and I thank you very much, Bill, for sharing this with the channel. I've actually held onto this bat for a few weeks now. The weather has absolutely been pitiful, and if you enjoy what I do and want to see more of this, there's always more content coming. We're heading into the new season, so we will definitely see players sending me brand new bats for the new season that they actually own, and maybe some brands. Never know. There's always feelers, but sometimes things just don't happen. But there's always going to be content. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next review, everybody.